Chococabra.
Right. The only thing about Chococabra is that just means chocolate goat instead of chocobo sucker. So it's Chupa Choco.
Chupa Choco. You're right.
But because I was
Chupa Boko.
Choco.
The rest of the episode will now be dedicated to deciding on the name of the Chocobo Chupacabra.
Thanks for joining us, guys.
Lord Chocobrasca.
Welcome to the RPG Book Club, the podcast where we play a little bit of a video game and talk about how it makes us feel. I am Sam Allman.
I'm Elias Sailor Eli Warren.
And I'm Maddie Weapon.
And today we will be playing part 2 of Final Fantasy X. It's part 3 if you look at it our way, but nobody else got to look at it our way because we didn't salvage those recordings. But so we'll be playing part 2 of Final Fantasy X and stopping right before we go into the Djose Temple. Me and Maddie finished it, but that's because I put the wrong thing in our Discord where Eli was watching. So I'm a bad man. But
it's okay.
As a reminder, this game is designed to be a dedicated voting period for our voter, our Best of the Rest 2018. And if you skipped the bonus episode, you did not hear that Okage Shadow King won the first match, and so now the match that's up is Dragon Quest V versus Magic Knight Rayearth. Please let us play a Dragon Quest game. I just want to play a Dragon Quest game. That's it.
I don't know. I do want to be Hokage though.
I do want to play Okage. So let us play one of those games. That's it. That's what I want the finale to be. Okay. But let Shining Force win in the losers bracket. Yeah. Just vote the way that we want you to. Okay,
that's vote with your conscience.
Vote with your conscience as long as your conscience is named Sam, Maddie, and Eli. But before we get all of that, y'all are going to sing me happy birthday, right?
Oh, yes. Of course. What day is today? It's Sam's birthday. What a day for a birthday. Let's all have some cake. And you smell like one, too.
Nice.
That's perfect.
Nice little throwback there. I haven't thought of that in a long time.
I'm such a Futurama nerd.
But, yeah. But other than that, how was everybody's week?
It was all right. I don't think anything particularly. Oh, we went and saw Captain Marvel.
Yeah, me too. It was good.
Oh, so good. And I have a friend who keeps telling me to go see Alita Battle Angel, but it's been tainted. It's been tainted.
Because Matt likes it?
No, well, no. I wasn't going to go that far. No, it's because when Captain Marvel came out, all the anti-SJWs went, I'm not going to go see Captain Marvel. I'm going to go see Alita as a protest. And so...
Who cares about those dorks?
I know, but I have principles, and also this friend keeps harassing me to see it, so the more he wants me to see it, the more I dig my heels in and go, no!
Like us with Homestuck.
Like Linehan.
Yeah.
Yeah, speaking of Homestuck, I finished the physical book that I was on this week, and then I was like, I'm so excited, when's the next one come out? And it said September, and I'm like, fuck that. So I'm rereading Homestuck the OG way online right now, and it's great, and I love it. It's so awesome. Everyone should read it, and then listen to our bonus episode that's about Homestuck. But other than that, the only thing I have going on is today, me and Eli are going to go do an escape room in the dark with flashlights because we are like evil against ourselves or some shit.
Yeah.
But it's fine. It's like, oh, I'm not afraid of the dark, but I'm claustrophobic. I'm like, well, maybe the dark will help your claustrophobia.
Yeah, definitely.
And you can't tell how small the room is.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
You can imagine that it's a big cave, a big cavern.
I'll just put in one of those like speech jammers in his headphones, so it sounds like he has an echo, and you're just like, oh, everything's great.
Yeah, okay, it's really big in here. Got it.
But
I'm excited. I don't get invited to do stuff very often, so
I don't do stuff very often, so I'm very excited as well. But what about you, Maddie? How is your week?
Well, my week has been very eventful. Lots of interesting and fun things have been happening. But the main thing that happened was I had to put about twice as many hours into attempting to play Final Fantasy X as I did into actually playing it. So I'm going to share the story real fast.
Do it.
So, as y'all know, this game is on the PlayStation 3 video game console, and the PlayStation 4 video game console, and the PlayStation Vita video game console. And it has crossplay between all three, which is really cool. Good on them for doing that. Not cross-buy, whatever, can't win them all. It's Square, right? They love money. As do we all, though. Anyway, so I had the PS3 version because I already had it from way back, and I'd remembered that it had some issues from way back with being a little bit buggy and, like, loading, like it has some scratches. I don't know what the deal is. It doesn't, like, have scratches. You look at the disc and you're like, looks fine to me. So maybe it's, like, warped or something. I don't know. Point is, it's been a bit of a hassle to play it, but it got more and more of a hassle, and it got to the point where even though I had 2 weeks to play this fucking thing, I didn't really procrastinate. Like the day after we recorded the last one or something, I started playing, and I did instead of actually proceeding with the game, I did a little bit of Blitzball, and then because I like Blitzball, I did like 3 games of it, and then I ended up like going down the Djose, the Mihen High Road or whatever. Anyway, and then I get into random battle, and the screen goes dark to load the random battle, and the battle music plays, and it stays dark. And I'm like, oh god. I let it sit for like 5 minutes. Eventually it loads, and I finish the battle. And I'm like, I need to make it to the next fucking save point. Point is, I'm like, I cannot play this game. This game is either going to literally stop working or be so bad that it's a huge hassle. I need to play a different version of this game. So I'm like, easy, gonna buy the PS4 version, and then I'll transfer my save because it's got cross save. And then I embarked on a journey. So, long story short, I don't have PS Plus, and also I have an old account on my PS3. When I got my PS4, so I'm stupid. I used to, like Sam, I used to go to Baylor University, and my email was old name _ last name at baylor.edu. Surely, I thought to myself, having an email address tied to it, having my account tied to an email address that is fundamentally temporary due to the nature of time and the fact that you go to college and then leave college won't cause any problems.
There's so many people who set up their college emails for game accounts, and I'm just like, why? Why do you do this?
Because I'm stupid. Well, in this case, it's because I've also set up work emails to game accounts. In this case, it's because I always have multiple accounts anyway, and you can only have one account per email. So in this particular case, my main account ended up being on the not main email.
Just be like me and have 87 Gmail accounts.
Right. Well, I'm getting there. Yeah. From now on, anytime I need to make a new account, I'm not going to use one of my existing temporary emails. I'm going to make another burner.
Yeah.
But at any rate, so ages ago, that email died, and ages ago, I forgot the password, and the password isn't any of the possible permutations of any of my go-tos. It's bizarre. Like, what was I thinking? I never bothered fixing this problem, because, I already had all the shit downloaded on the PS3. Like, I never needed to go online, right? I would just play the games I had on my PS3, if I wanted to play them. So when I got a PS4, I just made a new account. So I ignored the problem instead of fixing it. Turns out, so I decided to do it, right? So I can't use PS Plus Cloud Save because A, they're different accounts, and B, the PS3 can't go online. But I'd heard you can just manually transfer the save to the flash drive.
Uh-oh.
So for like a week, I was trying to find my flash drive. I couldn't find it because I live in a pigsty because I'm terrible. Eventually I found it. But then I realized you can't transfer that way because, they're two different games. PS4 is not PS3 backwards compatible. You put the flash drive into the PS4, and it's like, we don't recognize what this file is. The fact that you can transfer is just a special feature built into the game itself. It's not actually supported in any way by the PS4.
Yeah.
Right? Like, it's just a thing that Final Fantasy X can do. It can transfer. They have their own, Square has their own servers that will transfer the file, like, will convert the file from one game to the other for you. It's not a PS4 thing. So I couldn't do it physically, which, I don't know what I'm trying to do. So I had figured out. And I'm like, I'm not playing this game all the way again from the beginning. So
probably would have been the same amount of time at this point, but
so I'll get to that. So I decided I'm going to put the newer PS4 account on my PS3, transfer the Final Fantasy X save file from the old account to the new account on the PS3, then open it up and upload it. So I do that, and I can't because it's a different profile save. Apparently, there's a special extra thing not fundamentally supported by the PS3. Square and Sony specifically worked together to make this lock where you cannot transfer save files. If you're playing on a different account on the same console, not only can you not get trophies, which is fair, makes sense, you can't even save.
Wow.
It's like, oh, you transferred from account A to account B on the same console. You can't save now. Also, you can't upload it to the cloud.
Wow.
So I'm like, what? So at this point, I've given up, and I've said, I guess I gotta play the game from the beginning, which is when I messaged y'all. I gotta play the game from the beginning. But then I think, you know what? No, I can recover this shit. Okay, I just need to talk to a real human being. So I call Sony, and I'm like, look, and I for all of you IT people in the crowd, I'm sorry, I became this person. Y'all are gonna be mad at me. I call them and I say, look, I don't know my password. I don't have the email. I'm not 100% sure if the username is. Oh. Please help. And the dude types in my old email, and the weirdest part happens. They have no record of the account existing.
Yikes.
That's when I realize, on PS3, every time I try to log in, it defaults to my old name at bajor.edu.
Oh my gosh, you set the wrong email.
Baylor with a J. So apparently at some point, I must have transferred the account from one email to the other, but typoed it.
Wow.
See, whenever the PS3 tried to type in bajor.edu, I always thought it was just like, you know how when you autocorrect a typo and then it always wants to do the typo?
Uh-huh.
I figured the PS3 just like wanted to try that email even though it was wrong. So every time I tried to log in, I would correct it. No. I asked the guy, I'm like, could you try Bajor? And he's like, oh yeah, here's your account. But the crazy thing is, how would I have been able to do that? Because I wouldn't have been able to verify the account.
I think did you ever
have a real email?
Did you ever have was this like a second email you had put on it? Because if you had already verified
I'm pretty sure it was the only main email, I think.
Yeah, I think you don't have to verify your account for minimal usage. I think you have to, like if you got PS Plus, you might have had to, but...
So, yeah. I'm like, look, I don't know my security questions. I don't have the password. I don't have anything. All I have is my fucking email. Turns out the guy's like, well, we only have one verification technique we can use to verify your identity, but it's really no one ever uses it because why would you have this? He's like, there's no way you would have the original console you made this thing on, would you? And I'm like, you bet your ass I do. I've got Old Faithful, the PS3 that I've had for literally 11 years, and it's never failed me. I had the serial number right the fuck here, so I give him the serial number, and he's like, cool, so you want to transfer your email to something else? And I'm like, yes I do, so I transfer it to one of my burners. So that's when I told y'all, never mind, I got it, guys. But then, turns out, this story's about to get dumber.
Good.
And admittedly, half of this was my fault for being extremely stupid, right?
Mm-hmm.
But then it got stupider. Let me keep going.
But then it got stupider, the Maddie Webben story.
Exactly. It got too... So I finally go to sign in, either on a computer or on the PS3, and I see, cannot sign in. Ask your family manager for help.
What?
Do I have to give y'all understand what's going on here?
You have parental controls on this account?
When I first made this account, I was 17 years old.
Oh.
I did not want to lie about my age because I think being relatively prescient I saw the way the world was going. I was like, I'm gonna have this account for a very long time. I could probably see the future of like unified accounts where everything's the same and everything knows who you are all the time. Mm-hmm. So I was like, I'm gonna have this account for a long time. I'm almost 18. I should just make the account my actual age, and then when I'm 18, it won't matter anymore. So when I first made my account, I had to make another burner account that was pretending to be my mom. And anytime I wanted to buy something off PSN, I'd have to buy it on my mom's account, and then my mom, this is all just me, my mom didn't care, would give me permission to do stuff on my child account, right? Mm-hmm. So now I have to log into my mom's. Oh, and here's the problem. Sony actually never invented a way to turn a child account into a not child account.
Yeah, neither did Xbox.
Apparently, they didn't foresee the concept of people aging.
Yeah, yeah. My Xbox 360 is on my sister's email because the one on my email says that I'm a child when I was like 22, and I'm like, you know what? Fuck it, I'll just start over.
Wow. So I have to get into my mom's email. My burner email. And my burner email is my literal first email I ever had. Old dead name _ last name at hotmail.com.
Wow. Mine was also a Hotmail as my first email.
Turns out
Hotmail.com, that's a name I haven't heard in ages.
I know, right? Turns out it still exists.
Wow.
The reason is because I actually had to go through this same song and dance with Microsoft in like 2013. And because of all that, because I've had to do this shit with Xbox 360 back when I was in college, it knew my phone number.
Beautiful.
Thank fucking God, it knew my phone number, so which has never changed, thankfully. So that was super easy recovery. They're like, we texted you a recovery code to your phone number, and I'm like, hell yeah, and I get in. Now I'm in this literal like decade and a half old Hotmail account, right? But then it's still not over. I'm like, okay, time to log into my mom's PSN. Since I've got the email address, and I don't remember the password anymore, but I can reset the password, right? Sony is way too fucking careful with their resetting password. Like, usually, like, if you have an email, they just send the reset password email, and you click it, and that's it, right? Mm-hmm. No, you have to click the button in your email, and then answer security questions.
Yikes.
Now, the security questions are, what's your birthday? And apparently I didn't use my mom's birthday. And the other security question is, what's your dog's name? My family's only ever owned one dog. I could not figure out the security question. I'm like, what could it be? We've only had one dog, god damn it. How many? I tried it uppercase, I tried it lowercase. What? What
did stupid young me put?
So, I finally contact a support person. Not via call this time, via PSN chat. Same old shit. I log in. I accept. And it turns out the only reason I needed the parent account was the parent account had to accept the latest EULA.
Oh my god.
That's why the child account couldn't do anything, because the adult account couldn't accept new EULA.
This is quite an epic story.
It is. So really I finally am able to get into this account after all this work, and I log in on the PS4, and here's the good ending of the story. And I'm thinking, am I even going to be able to? Like, am I going to have to migrate my mom's account and my account? Like, am I going to have to hold on to this burner forever? Well, at least now I'm going to write down all the info, so I never have to go through this again, right? As soon as I log in on PS4, it's like, hey, this is a PS3 account. Would you like to upgrade this to a PS4 account? If you do that, it won't be a child account anymore.
Oh, thank goodness.
Yay.
But it doesn't get even better. That's the end of the stupidity. But at that point, my internet kind of stopped working. So it took me not stopped working like it said it worked, but it took me 10 tries to log in. Every time I clicked log in, it would be like, there was a DNS error. So I still have to do this for another 30 minutes.
Yikes.
And then when it finally gets to that message saying, do you want to upgrade to a PS4 account? I accidentally hit circle and backed out, and then I had to try logging in 5 more times. And then, of course, whenever I actually went on... So then it finally works. I finally get into the game on my PS3, and at this point, the disc is almost dead. I swear to God, I had to take the disc out and put it back in, I think maybe 10 times before it loaded the game. And I'm like, if I went through all this effort and now the game won't fucking, it's finally dead, I'm done. But the game was not dead. I got in one time and uploaded the fucking file. And that's my story. And it took me probably around 3 hours, which is No, probably took me around 5 or 6 hours total, which is less time than it would have taken to play the entire game from scratch. So,
Yeah.
slightly.
That's great.
Slightly.
Wow.
So that's my story, but now I'm on the PS4 version, and guess what? The graphics are
Even
only better
better.
in some ways, but they're noticeably better. They're beautiful. It's wonderful.
Yeah.
I love it, and the PS4 controller is so much better than the PS3 controller.
I agree.
Yeah,
God.
it's good. I love the DualShock, but like having played it for like a decade and a half was too much. The new one is much better.
Yep. So anyway,
Isn't the new one
I'm
also
now finally
called
in
DualShock?
the modern gen.
What was that, Eli? You were cutting out.
Isn't the new one also called DualShock?
Well, yeah, but the DualShock from the PlayStation
Classic
1
DualShock.
until PlayStation 3 were all the exact
Designed it,
same.
They never changed.
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't realize that.
Yeah.
Yeah, PS4 controller is vastly superior.
Yeah.
It's so good.
What's annoying is I have downstairs in my you know every person that owns electronics ends up with a drawer where just shit goes.
Yeah.
Like it's just all your electronic shit.
Yeah.
In that electronic shit, I have a DualShock, a DualShock 2, a couple 6-axis, and a DualShock 4. And just like you pick one up at random, you're like, oh, well, here's my black PlayStation 3 controller, and then you pull it and there's a cord, and you're like, nope, that's PS2. Let me grab this one. Oh, that was PS1. I'll never get it straight.
Oh, one tiny little addition to the story that's funny. My Hotmail account, I was thinking, oh, blast from the past, am I going to get to see all these old emails? Apparently, it's set up to delete emails, like, pretty frequently, so it only had emails from the last, like, month.
Mm-hmm.
But apparently I still have a few things set up with that email, because for some reason, I had a ton of emails, like, regular emails, like, once a week, from Blizzard.
Nice.
Like, here's the funny thing. They were all in Chinese.
You
got hacked.
either got hacked or someone used your email.
Yeah.
No, I think I probably used it to make a Chinese account at some point.
Well,
That sounds unlikely.
Yeah.
I probably
Would you really do that?
No, it's not that unlikely. I've got the reason why my main PS4 account is not on my main email because my main email is used for a Japanese account.
Yeah, but with Blizzard Chinese accounts, you can't really do anything. So it's highly unlikely you made a Chinese account. You more than likely just got hacked and your language has changed.
Well, it could have been Japanese. It could have been kanji.
There was a scourge.
Yeah, we added Japanese support like a year and a half ago. So
there was a scourge of Chinese people or a Chinese person or a hacking group or something who were creating accounts with emails they found and just making them willy-nilly.
Yeah.
I figured I just did that at some point.
Yeah. A lot of people.
I've got a lot of Japanese accounts if I ever want to download shit that isn't in America.
Yeah. A lot of people are like, oh, I don't even remember doing this. I would pull it up and be like, oh, your name's not.
That's because you didn't.
Your name's not Zhang Zifeng, or my favorite like fake thing would just be W and then like 16 numbers, and I'm just that's not you.
Zhang Sanfeng, I found out, is apparently a ancient Chinese superhero.
That's amazing. So they're all literally just making Superman as their.
Yeah.
That's great.
That kind of rules.
Yeah. That's dope. Anywho, let's kill everybody because that's all that happens this week.
Yeah.
Literally everyone we've ever met so far in the game besides Seymour dies. Let's do it.
Woo.
Yeah, hell yeah.
So, the place where we start, the Mihin High Road, is named after Lord Mihin. And he's the founder of the Crusaders, who started as like a rebellion against Yevon, but then kind of became holy cops somewhere along the way, and now currently are back to being a rebellion against Yevon. It was weird that they set this up. They're like, oh yeah, they're a holy police force, for then in a second then be like, oh, they're all blasphemers and Yevon doesn't love them anymore. But it happens. But
they got too eager.
They did. So all around the high road are ruins of an old civilization, and this priest historian guy is just like, yeah, humans fucking suck. And Yuna's like, but humans are the only ones who can defeat sin. I believe it, because she's awesome. Then the next little bit, if it sounds like I'm just describing cutscenes that happen in a line that are unrelated, that's what the Mihin High Road is. There's not really a plot for the Mihin High Road. There's just
like the characters are going on a little road trip and they're just meeting various people along the way.
Yeah.
And talking about their feelings sometimes.
Yeah. So then the next little bit we meet is with the Chocobo Cavalry. We meet this girl named Lucille, who tells us there's a monster nearby that likes to eat chocobos, and all of us are like, "Oh, cool! That'll be a mini boss here in a second." And
Sam, you make the same linguistic mistake that I make. You called it the Calvary, which is a thing from the Bible, and not the cavalry, which is what it means when you ride a horse.
Oh, really?
Yes.
I'm not making fun. I do the exact same thing.
I literally to this day just thought that they were like homonyms.
Nope.
Is that
cavalry is when you're on a horse. Calvary is where Jesus died.
Well, even better. Mine says Calvary.
Yeah, it's both.
Calvary.
It's both.
Jesus died, but you're also on a horse.
Yeah, Jesus died on a horse. So Titus is like, let's go kill a mini boss, and Aaron is like, hey, you're just like your old man, and Titus is like, no, that sucks, because it does suck. As we find out,
don't tell him he's just like his kid, his dad. Like,
as we find out later in a flashback, Titus in tears is like, "Daddy, will you please stop drinking?" And Jack is like, "No, why would I ever quit drinking? Fuck you, little kid." And it's like, all right,
I can quit anytime I want. I just don't want to. You're a piece of shit.
Yeah. Did you
suck so bad?
Did you guys find the Pokemon battle that was around here?
Yeah, I got my ass kicked.
Yeah,
I got my ass kicked real hard.
I actually didn't get my ass kicked so bad that I couldn't have like I got my ass kicked like I almost won. So like in my brain I was thinking like, fuck, I could have won that. Mm. Like it wasn't even like, well, I lost. It was like, fuck, I really could have won that if I'd been a little smarter.
Yeah.
Oh well.
It was not clear to me.
And I hadn't saved lately, so I didn't load up my
I looked at it like. So there's a side effect. Let's talk about systems for just a couple seconds. There's a side effect in this game where, like, we have not unlocked dualizing all your weapons into one. Toady hasn't shown up to talk to us in his Danny DeVito voice yet, and so equipment doesn't mean anything to me because you don't have stats. So it's like, I'm just like, I don't care. Like, I have everybody have an elemental sword of some sort and a strong sword, and then I don't care about anything else. So I saw that it was an equipment for somebody was the reward, and I'm like, well, I'm not loading my save for equipment. It's not worth it in this game, which is weird because usually you're like, oh fuck yeah, I get a new kick-ass sword, but now it's just like, well, I'm just gonna
this
sphere grid.
The stuff not having stats really fucks with me. Like, it doesn't feel right.
They're like passive abilities. Later, like Sam was saying, later it gets really interesting, actually. What happens is, I've got this sword that has plus 5% strength. I got this sword that does lightning strike. Oh, I can somehow combine them to make a sword that has both. That's really cool,
Okay.
But yeah, for now, you're just like, well, I guess I can do a lightning strike, but what if enemies aren't weak to lightning? I'll just do strength plus 5.
I hope it's not like the Rogue Galaxy system where you have to like set up a factory.
Oh, thank God.
I would have loved setting up the factory if the frickin' thing snapped to a grid, but it doesn't. There is a grid, but you hold right and it will try to move the most right possible instead of just picking a direction. It's bad. So I hate it. I love it. The game is awesome. It's bad.
You're very conflicted.
I know. That's one of my favorite things about like game criticism that I'm drawn to lately is so many people that will take something that is poorly reviewed and or a poor game, and instead of just being like, this game stinks because the battle system sinks and therefore it's not fun, you get Tim Rogers writing 80,000 words on why it's not fun, and then at the end he's like, but you know what, I beat the whole game and I did New Game Plus, so fuck me, right? I guess it's a good game. and that's basically how I am with Rogue Galaxy, where I'm just like, man, fuck that game, I loved that game.
It's a land of contrasts.
But so after we all get our asses kicked, the locals ask Yuna if she's going to bring back the calm, which is the period of time between sin attacks, and the last one lasted obviously for 10 years back when Jecht was around. And Yuna and Tidus is like, well, if he keeps coming back, and Yuna cuts him off and is like, don't say it isn't worth it, because it is, even if only for a little while. And I love her.
I like Yuna's anti-nihilist attitude.
I love her so much.
Yeah, she's great. I want to clarify this part a little bit more, just because, not as a memorable moment, just because for people who might not be playing along with us. Up until this point, they keep saying, we're going to go defeat Sin. We're going to go defeat Sin. Jecht, or Lord Braska, defeated Sin 10 years ago. And he just never brings it up. But he's clearly thinking the whole time, but Sin's right there. I don't get it. So at this point...
I'm saying that for sure.
At this point, they finally clarify, no, when we say defeat Sin, we mean Sin's dead, but then it just somehow comes back 10 years later, and the time in between is called the calm, and everyone gets to not have their shit wrecked by Sin constantly for 10 years.
And it's a good time.
And then Sin comes back, and another summoner has to go on this pilgrimage to defeat it. It's just a cycle we have to do.
Why don't...
so now,
as soon as Braska goes to Xanarkand and earns the final summoning, which we figure out here at Sunset is what they're after, why doesn't, now that it's calm and you don't have to fight Sin-Spawn along the way, have the next summoner go and just have it in their back pocket? First Sin attack, they show up, boom, final summoning.
That seems like a good idea.
Well, there could be reasons, like maybe the faith, those are the weird things that the spirits that help you, maybe they don't let you do it, or
they have a cooldown period.
I get the impression that maybe a small percentage of summoners are actually able to successfully do it. Like, you have these other summoners on the road with you, right? Like, do they just all, like, let's all go beat Sin? Oh, I fucked up, now let me try. Like, I think maybe it's like 1 out of every 10 or so is actually deemed worthy.
Yeah, it's probably chosen one bullshit, but it's still, as of yet, we're not told that Yuna is the chosen one, but we know how JRPGs work. And so it's just one of those things where it's like, well, why don't you just have this in your chamber, just ready for it? Like, but
have it in your chamber, like having yourself in the chamber of a gun that only shoots the pilot of the gun.
Definitely a good idea.
Yeah, so we run into Luzu and Gata, and they're helping with some important mission nearby with the Crusaders. And Luzu mentions being rejected by Yevon, and I don't know if I missed something, but Yuna's just like, yo, you can still run back to Besaid, and then Auron cuts him off. And I don't know what that was referencing, or if it's a future reference, or what. But
well, you'll know by the end of today's recording, right? Like,
was it about the...
Like all the mocking
but
stuff.
It didn't... We hadn't talked about that yet, and so it just...
Oh, right. I think maybe we missed something, or I just think that at this point, like, everyone knows what's going on, and I think that also includes the characters.
But it's...
I think they just know what this. I think they just know what this is, even before whether or not the players talk to the NPCs.
It's just weird. Yeah,
because they live in the world.
It is weird.
It is weird.
But because like the last time we talked to him, he was just like, "Hi, I'm a holy cop," and she's like, "What's up, holy cop? These are Crusaders. They're holy cops." And now he's like, "Yeah, God hates me," and it's just like, what happened between the Blitzball and now? But
this game does have a weird number of. I noticed a few scenes in this week's play that were definitely optional. So maybe we missed something.
Probably did. There was a lot of optional. There was some cool optional stuff that I completely missed too, like stuff with Chapu later. But we'll get there. So,
oh really? That's optional?
Anyway, either it was optional or Scarlett had to pee, and I went over to take her to the potty and missed it. That's highly probable at the same time.
Gotcha.
But yeah. So then we meet a local Yevon priestess who's trying to stop the Crusaders, and she's the one that finally tells us that they're using Forbidden Machina to fight Sin, and she's super sweet. Sweetie. She does not get an HD model though, so I can't look at her face.
She does.
The Steam version is based on the PS4 version. She did. No, I'm thinking of Isaru. Isaru was the one that didn't have a new face, and it was weird.
Yeah.
But anywho, we meet a lot of people that are named and then die. So
Yeah.
So then we stay at an Al Bhed Inn, and Waka is grossed out because he's racist. And he's not racist, he's hyper-religious. But I mean, what's the difference, right? Sorry.
Yeah.
Thanks, Bill Maher.
So at sunset at the end, there's a super sweet scene between Tidus and Yuna, and Yuna is letting the doubt from earlier get to her, and she wonders if it is even worth it, and she wonders what the future holds. She doesn't know what's going to happen after Sin, and Tidus gives her a high school football coach pep talk, and he's just like, you got to keep your eye on the ball. And she's like, are we talking about sports now? I was kind of telling you my feelings.
He's like a dad. He can only speak in sports metaphors.
And so, just like, keep your eye on the ball. We'll figure out the future after we defeat Sin. We can deal with that when we get there. Right now, let's just focus. And she's like, oh, thank you so much. And it's great. I love her. So she says that their goal is the final summoning, which is calls the final Aeon, which is the only way to kill Sin, and you get the final summoning in Xanarkand. So the next morning, that pesky Choco Chupacabra shows up, and we fight it, and it's
Chococabra.
Right. The only thing about Chococabra is that that just means chocolate goat instead of chocobo sucker. So it's Chupa Choco.
Chupa Choco. You're right.
But because I was
Chupa The rest of the episode will now be dedicated to deciding on the name of the Chocobo Chupacabra.
Thanks for joining us, guys.
Lord Chocobraska.
Yeah. What?
Yeah, if Jekt became Sin, maybe Lord Braska just lives on as a chocobo. This helpful chocobo that helps us out.
Yeah, this battle does have a cute little gimmick. That in the grand tradition of Japanese role playing games, you don't have to understand.
Yeah. I killed him without knocking him off the cliff.
Yeah, so the monster tries to knock you off the cliff, and you try to knock the monster off the cliff. I was literally like 2 hits away from knocking him off the cliff. Like, he was on the edge of the cliff. He was staggered. If I'd hit him like one more time, he would have fallen off. But 1 hit before that happened, I killed him. I did look it up. If you push him off the cliff or just win the battle, the reward is the same. Nice. You get AP from the battle, and you get a free ride on a chocobo. Fun thing about this battle: if he pushes you off the cliff, you lose the battle and it ends, but you don't game over. You actually teleport to the place that you're trying to go, so it's kind of cool. Yeah, it's a battle you can win or lose. Very strange. Just like the Aeon one earlier, so this game's continuing to be weird. Yeah. This is also the first boss in the game that I did not overkill, annoyingly, because I was focusing on trying to knock him off. But yeah, so after either if you fall off or if you beat him and get the chocobo, you skip the rest of this whole road. There's probably NPCs and items you can get and cool shit, but I just got on the chocobo. You can talk to the NPCs and get the items on the chocobo. Oh, dope.
Yeah. There's also special items you can get by looking at chocobo feathers while you are riding the chocobo.
Cool.
Like the very, very important fortune sphere, of which there are 4 in the entire game.
Nice. But unless you grind, I mostly am playing without a guide, so I'm finding all the stuff that I'm skipping. But after 100%ing Legend of Dragoon for the last game playthrough, I don't want to fucking do it. So
that's Sam, you're valid.
I mean, I've missed 2 of the Al Bhed primers. Yeah. And I don't know if that's going to affect anything big, but I'm also like,
it's their Stardust.
The good news, Eli, is that Al Bhed primers, if there is a reward, I don't really remember. It's extremely minor. The main reason, it's actually mostly there for your own enjoyment, not for it's like there to learn the language. If you get them, then you can understand what the Al Bhed are saying. That's what it's for.
Okay.
Yeah. That's it. But so we head down to the Crusader checkpoint where Seymour shows up to let us in, and because there's an optional scene there that I didn't get when I was going through a Let's Play to gussy up my notes this morning. I saw it, but where you try, if you talk to some summoners, the summoners are just like, but I'm a summoner, I should get through. And they're like, we don't fucking care about your pilgrimage. We're blaspheming against God right now. So what does that matter to us?
We're going to shoot it with
It's Donna.
It is Donna? Oh,
yeah,
dope.
It's Donna and her guard. And then she's like, well, I'm feeling pent up, so let's go, main guard guy. And they go off, presumably, to have sex.
Yeah. Obviously.
Yeah, but Seymour just gets us in because everyone listens to Seymour. But, so the Crusaders are using Machina to fight Sin, but Yuna and Seymour both are just like, I don't know if it might fucking work, and maybe he won't come back if we kill him with fucking lasers, so just fucking do it.
Yeah, I want to address this scene real fast because I think maybe it's because I know secret information about the future, but I found this scene to be very, very ominous and interesting because like there's a weird aside where someone says to Seymour like, you know this isn't going to work, and Seymour's kind of just like,
Aaron says it, and Seymour's like,
and there's also this other there's another what do you call it? There's another maester here. This weird dude named Maester
Keenock.
And, like, it's implied that Keenock's kind of a piece of shit.
Yeah.
Because Aaron's like...
This guy's a maester
now?
Yeah.
Yeah, he says it, like, incredulously. Like, it's almost like, you know, like, this guy's a priest at the local church, and, like, you knew him back when he was...
When his name was... His name was Beefer, and he did keg stands with you in college, and you're like... Beefer is the Pope now. All right, whatever.
Exactly. So Aaron doesn't say anything, but he knows this guy's a scumbag. So this is where you start to see some cracks in the Yevon facade. I guess like not only is this guy a scumbag, but somehow has become a maester. But like he and Seymour seem to be in some sort of level of disagreement / disagreement with Mika, and there's a point where a little bit later, actually I don't know. We'll talk about it now. It's all the same. So
we're on practically
Waka,
the last cutscene because it's long. But
yeah, I think Waka is amazing here in this scene. I don't like. Yeah, he's just very religious and kind of racist, but like it's so believable. I don't know. He comes from such an important place emotionally, and
he clearly cares about it very much.
Yeah, and it's like again, it's believable, and he's saying like you can't condone this, Seymour. Like you're a maester of Yevon, you can't condone this. And Yevon's just like, well, you know, they're all giving it their best shot. Their motives are pure. And it's like, and I'm thinking to myself, like, that's not how religion works, dude. Like, you can't, the ends don't justify the means. You can't do something sacrilegious if it's for the greater good. That's the point of it being sacrilegious.
Yeah. Have you ever met, never mind, I'm not actually going to say that. That might be too controversial.
I don't care. What are you going to say?
I was going to say, have you ever met a fundamentalist?
Well, yes, obviously, but that's the point. It's hypocritical. Well, see, here's the thing. You're right, but an actual fundamentalist leader would not admit to that.
Oh, that's true.
They'll do it, but they won't admit it, right?
But Seymour's like, anyway, I am a resident of Spira, and as a resident of Spira, I want them to win. As the Pope, fuck them. But I want them to win because I don't want to die tomorrow.
But then someone's like, well, what about the Machina? And he goes,
I didn't see it.
And you didn't see him.
Yeah.
And then like there's like a triple, like a 3 times audible gasp combo, Bob. Like I think like Yuna and Waka
and Lulu, I think.
Like Lulu all gasp, and Yuna is like, a maester can't say that, and he goes, so pretend I didn't say it.
Yeah.
And I'm like,
he's obviously not evil.
Well, the funny thing is, in the earlier scene when he lets you in the checkpoint, the only thing evil about him in that scene is that the evil music plays during the scene.
That's true.
Other than that, I'm like, the music wasn't telling us he's evil. I don't know if I would think he was evil.
I don't know. Those veins on his forehead kind of...
I never beat...
Hey, that's because he's a Guido.
I never beat the game growing up, and I also shared a room with my brother, so I mostly had the sound low or off, so I'd never heard the evil music. So all I saw is this guy shows up at the Blitzball tournament and saves the day, and then he shows up here and he helps you get in. And I always thought that Seymour was going to be like good-ish, like maybe it was going to be the Obi-Wan character to die, and I never thought that he was the bad guy for how much that I had played as a growing up.
Maybe he will be. You don't actually know yet.
I mean, I can hear the music now. I took a.
It seems pretty obvious at this point.
I realized we're not playing Diablo, so the more gross your summon is doesn't mean the better of a person you are.
But yeah, how Diablo works.
Yeah.
At this point, I'm thinking to myself, wait, are the Maesters actually inciting them to do this kind of just as a way to get them all killed? Like, is it like a weird trick? Like maybe the Maesters want to prove that you shouldn't use Machina, so they're like saying to these people, "Oh yeah, use Machina, it'll be great," and then they'll all die.
Yeah, maybe. It's kind of what it feels like, especially because when Orin wakes up, Master Keenock is like, "Wow, it was sad today," and Orin's just like, "No, everyone who is faithful to Yevon is still alive," and it's just like, "Okay, yeah, I think this was on purpose. I think this was a culling." Well,
yeah, it's
fucked up. But yeah, let's talk about
what actually happened.
Everybody dying. So
everybody dies.
Yeah. So their plan is to I call it Operation Crusader Dumbfuckery, because they bring in a shitload of beasts and Sin spawn all into one place and tase them just to piss off Sin, so that Sin will show up so that they can shoot it with cannons.
Still way better than Operation Babe Hunt.
True.
Well, they're going to shoot it with tiny cannons, and then that'll immobilize it a little bit, and then they'll shoot it with a giant fucking laser Machina cannon. Yeah. And they're teaming up with the Albed, right? Because the Albed are chill with Machina, so yeah. So there's all that going on.
And it doesn't work. Doesn't work at all.
What a shock!
I wouldn't call it dumbfuckery. It almost works. Remember, in the FMV, the laser is shooting Sin, and Sin has its laser barrier. Mm-hmm. And the laser is breaking through the barrier. But right before it does, Sin shoots out like a separate laser and blows up the cannon and saves himself. But like I think Sin was like
scared,
acting out of desperation.
I could see
he's
it.
like, I'm gonna pull out my disintegrate everyone beam because I'm desperate. Because he didn't do that before,
True.
Right? So anyway, I gotta respect them. I think their plan did a pretty good. It didn't work, but hello, they're trying to defeat God, and they're also being sacrilegious, so you know.
Everyone we love dies. That's basically what happens. That we fight
gruesomely in a super fucking cool
FMV. So first we have a super cool boss fight, which is it's kind of the final boss from Rogue Galaxy, but better, because it has these two giant hands that cover its face and will absorb all damage, but you can kill the hands to then make it easy, and then it has a tail that drops poison, and so you just have Lulu shock the shit out of it every single turn. And
it's a Virage.
Yeah, it's kind of is a Virage. It's Virage plus the final Jaster fight, but without a giant slow ass sword. But it was kind of cool, and we beat it. But then, of course, the FMV afterwards says that we can't beat it, and Seymour has to show up and fight an easier version. Like, the fact that I have Scan shows I'm like, well, no, fuck that Seymour destroys this one. This one has a fifth of its HP. This is bullshit.
I think it's because it was already hurt from when you fought it earlier.
Yeah, and it shouldn't have said 5,000 out of 5,000. It should have said 5,000 out of 25 or whatever.
Yeah, well.
But yeah, so Seymour shows up. You probably could have summoned Anima, but I didn't because I just wanted to get it over with.
Oh, I didn't even think about that.
Yeah,
I mean, his spells are doing like 2,000 damage per spell.
I just did spells. But yeah, so after that battle, the entire area gets flattened, and all of the Albed and Crusaders die. Literally, every single one of them.
You're actually getting this a little backwards. Not that it really matters.
There's a bit of FMV in the middle where the monster then comes back.
Well, Sin kills the shit out of everybody before the Seymour fight happens.
No. It's because what happened. So he's killing the shit out of everybody when we fight him the second time. He hasn't flattened everything yet, because after this fight, he flattens everything. Tidus gets mad and jumps in the water to chase after Sin. So if Sin had already flattened everybody and left, and we were fighting this monster, Tidus wouldn't be able to chase after him.
I guess, but the FMV where everyone disintegrates. That's before.
Yeah, I don't know. Everybody fucking dies. Tidus jumps after Sin, and
because he's mad.
And so he chases after him, and then that's when we get the flashback where Jecta's like, "I love being an alcoholic. Fuck you, kid." And Jecta's.
I also think Tidus might die here.
You think this is where Tidus dies?
No. I don't mean like a Squall is dead thing. I think he does. because if you recall, and this scene's really cool. I didn't remember the scene at all. It gets really impressionistic here because it's Final Fantasy X, and sometimes it gets really weird and impressionistic.
Oh, I was about to spoil the fuck out of a recent video game that everybody's excited about. It's the biggest surprise in a game, and I was about to do it casually. I'm a horrible person. Continue.
Yeah, don't do that. Yeah. So no. So when you go swimming after him, the screen goes like white, and then it cuts, like in a lot of movies will do, like there's a dramatic cliffhanger, and then it cuts to other characters doing something unrelated. Later it switches back to Tidus, and you're back in that weird wobbly blobbly. Mm-hmm. You're in. It looks like you're inside of Sin, like from the beginning of the game. And then there's this vision where you see like a little courtyard. It looks like maybe like the temple or something. Mm-hmm. And there's all these ghosts walking around, but it's the ghosts of like
Albed and stuff, right?
Well, like Luzu and stuff.
Yeah.
So I'm realizing, these people just died. So you're basically like seeing ghost people who just died inside of Sin, and then the weird little ghost kid that we've been seeing a few times and haven't seen in a while shows up, and he looks directly at the camera. So I think this is a POV shot from Tidus' POV, and he kind of like shakes his head. So what I think happens is Tidus goes too hard with Sin, maybe like is on the verge of death, like he almost kills himself doing this, being reckless, and this kid is saying like, it's not your time yet.
Okay, that's really cool. I just thought that was
he sends him back.
More just part of his like oxygen deprived dream that he was having about his dad. But yeah.
Oh, sure. But I'm just saying that with my future knowledge. I think that's what's happening there.
Dope. Squall is dead. Cool. So yeah, when you get up to the top, you have a conversation with Orin about how Sin is jacked and everything. And Tidus is like, but if he's my dad, why is he doing all of this? And he's like, I think he's just trying to see you. And Tidus is like, then why is he killing everybody? He's like, he's trying to see you so you can watch him kill everybody. So you'll be mad at him and kill him because I think he wants to die. And I'm like, cool. My recollection of this game, because I've played past this point, I did not remember that Sin was jacked. I thought that I was getting spoiled because I had heard that along the way. I thought that I was getting spoiled for like a late game, like right before the final boss, Jecht steps out and you're like, holy shit. But no. And what's cool is Auron basically calls Tidus out for expecting that too. And he's like, why are you telling me now? And he's like, if I told you at like a climactic moment, you'd get in your head and we'd all die. Like, why would I ever keep this from you? This is important. And he's like, yeah, you're right. It was kind of cool. Like he was answering me.
This game has some twists, but it does a good job of laying it all out there, actually, for the most part. There's another, I think next week's going to be a big twist, and the week after that is going to be a big twist. And then after that, it's all laid out there, and there's really nothing new until the very end.
Nice. I like that. I love a good twist. But like Eli, the twist in Captain Marvel was so delicious and twisty, and I loved it. But I wasn't expecting it whatsoever. But also, I kind of like, we're going to go do the thing, all right, guys? Type of stories. And I'm glad we get both in this game.
Actually, next week, next week, not exactly twists, but let's say some developments, which in my opinion are better than twists.
Yeah, developments are way better than twists.
Because a twist is, you didn't know something, and we just didn't tell you. Development is, you do everything, but then a character just did something that you did not expect.
Yeah, which is dope.
You know?
But, yeah, so after that, we head over to the Djose Temple and save. Or if you're me and Maddie, we talk to two other summoners. One likes us, one doesn't, and then we save. And that's about it. We do get one tiny drop from Isaru that makes it sound like what our next quest is going to be, but it's just a tiny droplet, so it's not important.
Eli, would you mind if we just real quick just did talk about this stuff and then just told you what it was?
Oh, I don't have a problem with that. No,
because if we don't do that now, I'll do it next time, and next time is going to be beefy.
Yeah, cool.
Let's talk about it now. So you meet this character named Isaru, and Isaru is a sweetheart. I love him. He's
Yuna's biggest fan because he's her dad's biggest fan.
Yeah, he's the foil to Donna. Whereas she's like pompous and awful. He's also a summoner going on a summoning quest just like her, and but he's a sweetie. And the cool thing is, his two guardians are his
little brothers.
Or his little brothers. So he's just like this small, he's just like this good old small town boy who doesn't seem to know much, and probably isn't that strong, but he's given his best, and his two brothers are there to help him. One of whom is really tiny.
Yeah, it's like a 6-year-old boy.
And he's just really sweet and really nice, and is like, yeah, like, your dad inspired me to become a summoner. We're all in this together. And then he challenges Yuna to a friendly little bet. He's like, hey, let's see which of us can go and defeat Sin first. Which I feel like that's like a way of like, you know, I think that's the way of escapism. Like, instead of being scared about how absurdly dangerous our quest is, we're just gonna make a bet and say, I can do it before you can.
Yeah. Especially because, like, from what Yuna was saying earlier, and also the fact that Lord Braska isn't still around to go and do stuff, it kind of sounds like killing Sin kills you. So it's kind of just like, let's go see who dies first by saving the world. All right, I'll pay you $10 after you die first, which is kind of like fucked up, but awesome.
Yeah. Yeah, and like no one's mentioned that, but it's shoot, Lord Braska's not around anymore.
Yeah,
so
it's definitely the feel of it, but. I kind of have the feeling we beat the final boss of the game and Yuna's in X2, so something different is going to happen this time at the very least. But
yeah, and so also though, so Isaru pulls Goku aside and is like, hey, just so you know, like, sorry, one of the Guardians aside and is like, hey, just Guardian to Guardian, there's been some rumors going around that, like, some summoners are going off on their quest and then just, like, going missing. And no one ever hears from them again. And I'm like, what is it? Because there's, like, 50 beasts on every single road? and he's like, no, something's amiss. You know, there's someone's out there killing masks, and I'm gonna find out why. Who killed the comedian. But then he's basically just like, you know, that's the problem, because, like, you know, like, what's the point of being a guardian? You know, there's no summoner to protect. And he's like, just heads up, man. Just watch out. And then after that, the temple is cool as hell. The temple is straight up a Zelda dungeon. Like, I mean, looks like one from the outside. Like, it's this dramatic lightning rock where all the rocks are floating. It's very extra.
Yeah. It's super cool.
The puzzle inside is by far better than the other two, in my opinion.
I figured out the way.
Makes sense.
I figured out the way forward really easy. I did not find any recollection that there would be a hidden item somewhere, so no idea where that one would be.
As usual, there is, but it's not a huge deal.
Nothing in this game really seems to be a huge deal besides the sphere grid, and I can get that by punching things.
And but yeah, like, the puzzles aren't bullshit. You can actually solve them using your actual regular brains. It's kind of fun.
I don't know.
Then you meet Donna, and what's her dude's name?
Fuckboy.
I forgot. Definitely fuckboy.
Byakuya. So the funny thing is, they show up, and Byakuya turns to Sir Auron. And he's like, Sir Auron, and he says, like, very toughly, like, Sir Auron, and he walks up to him, and then his face turns into a smile, and he goes, can I shake your hand? And Auron's like, what? And he's like, you are my hero. You inspired me to become a guardian. And Auron's like, cool. So Auron shakes the guy's hand, and Donna is furious, because she's like, but these are our rivals. I hate them. But then her guardian is like, oh, it's Auron.
He's like, I'm never going to wash this hand again. And she's like, you get that filthy hand away from me.
Yeah, it's fucking good as hell. And then you go through and you do it, and you get, like Sam said, you get Ixion, which is a lightning horse. Kind of like you get a lightning horse in Final Fantasy 13.
Yeah, it's also kind of like Zebraika.
Is that a
Zebstrika is what they call it.
Zebstrika.
I played that Jin in Japanese first, so Zebraika is what I think of them as.
Gotcha.
But it's Zebstrika they added, which is kind of a better name.
I named it Raytheon.
Nice.
Because it's like it's like a drone. It could be murdering people. Then you leave. And there's just there's an optional scene here where you talk to Gata and you find out that Luzu got chopped in half.
Oh, fuck.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
Well, I'm sure it hurt, but not for long.
Right?
Yeah. There was a whole subplot here, by the way. The whole time you were running along the different dungeons, where like Gata really wanted to go fight.
We've practically moved on to memorable moments, by the way, so you can get those ready, Eli.
Yeah. I've got mine all in the text file. So Gata wanted to fight. He's like, I want to fight Sin. I want to be a hero. And Lucy's like, you're just a kid. Also, like, everyone's important. Even guarding the headquarters, or bringing food, or patching people up and being a medic. Those are all very important. It's not all about being a hero. And he's like, but I want to be a hero. And then guess what? All the heroes fucking died. So then Gata is crying because Lucy got chopped in half, and Gata says he's going to go back home to Besaid. Because he's seen some shit at this point, and he's like, I'm just going to go back to Besaid. I don't know if he does or not, but that's what he says in the scene.
He does go back to Besaid. You can find him at the end of the game. The Let's Play I was watching said that.
Nice, cool. And then finally they're like, "Where's Yuna?" And turns out Yuna, you sleep at the inn. Mm-hmm. Then they're like, "Where's Yuna? Let's wait for her." But every time the game says wait, you actually have to go do something. So in this case, you go and you find Yuna. She's asleep, and she's like, "Oh shit, I'm late. And everyone's like, "It's fine. Like, no one cares. We're waiting on you. We're not on a timeline here." But what's cute is she rushes out the door, and she doesn't have like a super fast running animation. It's just her regular running animation, but like sped up, like a cartoon. So she's just going tick, 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 going really, really fast. And then they all make fun of her because she has bed hair.
And she turns to Aaron, Mr. Serious, and she's just like, Aaron, tell him to stop laughing. And he's like, I never thought that the High Summoner would have bed hair. And it's great.
So they all basically dunk on her a little bit, and then they're all laughing. And then Tidus says in future narration, I didn't realize at the time that I was the only one actually laughing. Which is to say, everyone else is literally like putting on a show of laughing, faking levity for the sake of Yuna, whereas Tidus is like, this is great.
Yeah, look how stupid she looks, guys. Isn't this so fucking
we're all
funny?
laughing and having fun like friends, right?
Yeah.
And now they're on to the next leg of their journey, which is to go do a thing called... I love how they keep saying, like, we're going to go through the Moonflow. We're going to go through the Moonflow. And he's just like, cool, the Moonflow. He's not going to be like, what the fuck is this dramatic-sounding thing called the Moonflow? I guess I'll find out when we get there.
Which I think that means, if I'm remembering correctly, the Moonflow is the thing you ride on, like, that weird elephant thing to cross, right?
I think so.
And right on the other side of that is where I died, where my game kaputted, if I remember correctly. But I'm remembering from, like, 500 years ago, so.
Yep, you're basically right. There's also one or two more details to your story that I won't repeat because I don't want to spoil. Yeah. But yeah, there's going to be a little fun surprise this next week that is related to what you're saying. Yes.
Cool. So I'm almost there. So some of my memorable moments. Did you guys kick that kid's blitzball into the fucking moon and make him cry?
That was on my list too. There's a blitzball just sitting in the middle of the road. And you kick it, and then the kid shows up and goes, "Hey, that's my ball."
I was so confused because I was like, "Oh, a blitz ball. Maybe there will be a memory." Mm-hmm. Nope, just gonna chuck this kid's ball off into space.
It reminded me of this is technically a Chrono Trigger a spoiler, but it's literally the first thing you do in the game, Eli. So it's not that big of a spoiler. But you're at this fair, and there's this thing you can't really tell what it is on the bar, but it looks interactable. So you go and you touch it, and it's like, ooh, a lunch, and you eat it, and this guy's like, hey, that was my lunch, and I'm like, I just was trying to look at it. I'm sorry, I don't actually have control over what Chrono does. I just press the A button. It's not me, it's him.
Yeah, and then later you literally go on trial, and they're like, and you ate that guy's lunch.
You're like, I didn't want to. But so now Tidus is going to go on trial, and they're going to be like, and you kicked that boy's blitzball. But yeah, then another one that I liked was Tidus and Yuna are having their sunset date, and Tidus is just like, wow, so we're actually going to go to Xanarkand? Do you think we'll actually get he's Xanarkand? Do you think that everything's going to be okay? And Yuna's about to be like, yeah. And Arn shows up, he's like, nah, Xanarkand's a ruin. Been there for 1,000 years. Sucks to be you, brah. Just like combo breakers their whole like romantic scene. And it's great. Then another one, a couple quick ones I had about Waka, all taking place at the thing. So there's the optional scene that I missed. It sounds like it might not have been optional, so this might have been diaper change missed. But Luzu is like, hey, Waka, before we do the thing today, I want you to know that I was the one that told Chapu to enlist, so like I killed your little brother. Sorry, brah. And Waku punches him, and Waku turns to Lulu and is like, you knew about this? And Lulu was like, I punched him too. And it was good.
This is a really good scene, and also you find out here that Chapu had kept saying that when he had defeated Sin, then he was going to propose to Lulu.
No, he said whenever we win the the Blitzball championship, I'm going to propose to Lulu. And then he went away the next day, and Luzu was like, he told me that seeing your girl was good, but keeping her from dying was even better, and that's why he left. So kind of sweet.
Yep. And Lulu's like, yeah, I know, yeah, and, yeah.
I punched him too.
I like this scene because you see that Waka's very impotent.
Yeah.
Like, he has always religious convictions, but, like, what can you do if you have strong convictions if the people around you are just, like, not going to let it affect them?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, he and also, like, what can he do? Like, there's nothing he can do.
Yeah.
So he just has all this, like, undirected feelings that he just has to live with. Yeah, like what happens in a second, where he takes it out on what?
He kicks the Albed cannons. So he's walking, and it hurts his foot. He just walks by, just like, man, fuck these Machina. But he's wearing,
not realizing that he's wearing sandals,
and he breaks his toe.
You know, speaking of him wearing sandals, I like how in this scene, anytime all these important people show up, and they're all dressed very beautifully. Like when Maester, Seymour shows up, and then Yuna's there, and they're all wearing these elaborate robes, and then the camera shows Waka, and he's just like looking like a fucking dumbass.
Yeah.
He looks so out of place in some of these scenes. It's hilarious.
The last one I had was when you're meeting Seymour in that scene. Waka shows up to ask, like, what the fuck why are you supporting this? But you don't just ask the Pope, why are you supporting this? So he's like, greetings, Sir Master Seymour. I would speak to, I like you. Would you want? And it's just like trying to be so proper, and he's tripping over his words, and it's amazing. Yeah. I loved it.
Seymour literally goes like, talks like a normal person.
Yeah. And it's great. Then my very last one was after everybody dies, Tidus wakes up and Yuna's performing another ascending off in the corner, and he's just like, when people die, Yuna dances. When will she stop dancing? When will this all stop? And it was like,
yeah, that was actually one of mine as well.
Yeah, it was a good bit. This game's good.
What are the rest of yours, Eli?
I mean, Sam pretty much covered them all. I really like the kicking the ball just
so
off into
good.
oblivion.
It's so good.
The little bit with Donna bitching about being unable to get past the gate kind of filled me with a great sense of schadenfreude.
Right.
Because I hate her. I mean, I love her because you need an asshole character.
Yeah, and I'm glad it's not in your party. Like, when you have the asshole character, I hate showing up to the next town. It's like, so sorry about Asbel. He's kind of a dick. We just have him along because he's level 25 and we need him. But sorry about that.
Good at swords.
He's good at swords. So sorry about that. No, this, we get to just have somebody else do all the asshole, and we can just be 7 best friends or whatever.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, that's basically all I've got. There wasn't anything really major that I can remember.
I've got a couple small ones. One a hilarious one is the scene earlier when you're learning about the whole Sin of being defeated but still coming back thing. Goku Tidus has a hilarious line read. He's like, hey, so, like, I don't get it. Like, what is it? He's like, or no, he just goes, what's the calm? And he asks the calm, and then they're like, the calm's what happens when you defeat Sin. We defeat Sin, and then he comes back in 10 years. And he goes, I get it.
Yeah.
It's so dumb.
Like,
All of a sudden, it fucking clicks in his brain, and it's the loudest, goofiest line read you've ever heard, and it's so fucking funny. He like practically screams. He's like so happy. He's like so excited that he figured something out on his own.
Yeah.
Instead of having it explained to him.
And what I love is in your party, only Yuna knows that you're from 1,000 years in the past. Everyone else just thinks that you have sin poisoning, and so it's just like, God damn it, this fucking sin poison motherfucker.
Yeah.
Just doesn't get anything.
Don't worry about Tidus. He's got issues.
Yeah. There's a really interesting scene later because we were talking about the idea of like whose story is it last time. Auron has a line where he says to Tidus, he says after everyone fucking dies, he says, "Many stories ended here today, and yet yours continues." So I think that's an interesting reconfiguration because it was like, wait, if y'all kind of guessed the low-key point of the game way earlier than I did when I was a kid, probably because y'all are adults and can pick up on subtext. But yeah, the point of the game is that it's not Tidus' story.
Yeah.
He's not the main character. He's a supporting character in someone else's story. But yet, Auron says at the beginning, this is your story. So like, what? That seems to go against the theme of the game. But here, Auron pivots that. He's like, no, everyone is the main character of their own story, but maybe your story isn't important, you know? So he's saying, yeah, all these people's stories died, but your story continues, and like, what is your story? I think that learning that Jack wants Goku to kill him is very cool.
Yeah.
On one hand, it's both good and bad because it means that on one hand it's bad because Tidus hates his dad. He wants to kill his dad. But killing his dad is what his dad wants him to do.
Yeah.
So you don't want to do what your dad tells you. You want to rebel and not do what your dad tells you. So by his dad wanting him to kill him, he's kind of caught. It's like he still can't escape his dad's control and his dad's influence, no matter what. On the other hand, a lot of people low-key actually secretly just want their parents to be proud of them, right?
Yeah.
Even when you say, I hate you, he's still, like, if he didn't want, if the I hate my dad didn't have, I want my dad to be proud of me, he wouldn't have done Blitzball. He wouldn't have done sports.
Exactly.
He would have been an item shop keeper or something.
So this is like simultaneously on one hand, on one hand, he's caught in his dad's web. On the other hand, he might make his dad proud of. He's finally getting to make his dad proud of him, maybe, or something.
Yeah.
It's a really interesting little psychological twist. It's cool. Like, it doesn't affect anything plot wise. It just affects his character a lot. There's a part where Kimari actually talks.
Yeah, which is dope.
And tells Tidus what we already all knew, which is that Yuna is putting on her brave face because she has to be everyone's hope. And Goku needs to smile. And Goku tells Kimari to smile. And he attempts to smile. And Goku says, sad. And all I could think of was, that just reminded me of Donald Trump. He's just like, Kimari, Ronso's smile, but they look goofy. Sad. Also, later, Sam already talked about this, but it's a specific line read I want to mention. Auron says, you know, hey, don't tell Yuna about Jack being your dad, by the way. I should have said that earlier, but I forgot, so please don't tell Yuna, because it'll mess up her feelings. And then she just goes, what about my feelings? And Auron does give an answer, like Sam said, like, oh, if I told you later you'd have emotions and it would fuck things up. But I feel like Auron's really just like, I don't care.
I don't care about your feelings.
The real answer is that I don't care about your feelings. I'm sorry.
Reals before feels, bro.
When you get to the Djose temple, they're all doing like medical and funeral work, and it turns out they're all out of funeral shrouds.
Yeah,
which is a cool little detail.
Yeah.
Too many people died. They weren't prepared for that many people dying.
Yeah. I didn't even pick up on that at the time, but that's a really sad thing to be out of.
Yeah, it really is. In addition, we have finally started to get level 1 sphere locks.
Yeah.
So on the sphere grid, you go around, you get all your little bonuses, but you'll get these locks, and you can't go past the locks. A level 1 lock unlocks it, or a key unlocks the door, because that's how keys work. In case y'all didn't pick up on this, I just want to let you know, in case you haven't used them, because you're not sure if you want to waste them or not. If you unlock a lock, it's on everyone's sphere grid.
Oh, that's cool.
Okay.
Yeah. So for me on the expert sphere grid, the characters intersect a lot more.
Uh-huh.
So I'm like, oh look, right now Waka and Lulu are really close to each other. In fact, there's only a level 1 lock between them. So if I unlock this level 1 lock, both Waka can cross over and get a little bit of Lulu stuff before he continues on his way, and Lulu can cross over and get a little bit of Waka stuff. And the reason that's important is because it's like, oh, like this is like plus MP.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, that's actually good because Lulu needs MP, but also Waka actually does need MP as well.
Yeah. Yes.
So like it was a smart move for me to use it in that situation. Also, they're not that rare. I agonized over how to use my first level 1 key, and then not long after I had 4 more.
Yeah. I have like 3 or 4 right now, and since I'm on the standard sphere grid, I kind of am just like, because most of the locks on the standard sphere grid will be like, it'll shoot off to be in the middle of two people's, but will be like just a little thing that's like all defense related. So it's like, oh, do you want to give some people some easy buffs? Use your sphere and you can unlock it here and go and do that. And most people, I'm just like, I'll save it. I'll just go through, finish your track, and then go back and make everybody badass.
Yeah. There's no need to feel strong about it. I used it because I saw an opportunity for it. But now that I have 4 more, I don't see any super, like, I have passed up one opportunity to use one because I'm just like, not really worth it. I'm just going to keep on going on my merry way.
One thing.
So yeah, it's pretty loosey.
One thing I like about the sphere grid is, so Kamari, he was designed in the original sphere grid to not really have a plan in front of him. He's kind of like a quasi Dragoon now, but a Dragoon Blue Mage is kind of what he's doing. But he has his own track that doesn't like cross over to people's. But at the end of his is where you get Ultima. So kind of it reverses his role in the party. Instead of he needs to be everybody else, everybody needs to be him so that you can get Ultima at the end of the game, which is kind of cool.
Yep. Yeah, that is cool. Oh, have you all been getting all of his rages?
Yeah, I basically only use Lancet when he's in the battle.
I don't understand it because sometimes it gives him things and sometimes it doesn't.
So that unfortunately is the failing of the Blue Mage in the history of Final Fantasy. The Blue Mage gives you enemy attacks, but it doesn't give you every enemy attack. It gives you the enemy attacks it feels like. Blue Mage would be a viable thing if it just gave you every... Like, if it gave you at least 1 attack per every monster. But it's like, oh, you have to be paying attention, and there's 2 mobs out of the 50 in this dungeon that, if they happen to use this one spell, will let you lance it and get the spell. And it's kind of bullshit.
You gotta use a guide. It's literally like, oh, Mihan High Road has 3 different lancet skills you can get. In the whole game, there's like maybe 20.
Yeah.
Cool. I'm probably not going to bother with
it.
I
will say, if you miss any, there's a boss towards the end of the game, or maybe it's an enemy mob, not a boss, that has all of them.
So you just lance to get them all.
Basically, later you can get it again. Yeah. Also, I'm sorry, someone just started using like a jackhammer or something outside my room.
Yeah, I hear that, but that's okay. We're about to finish it anyways. So.
Anyway, yeah, that's. Oh no, that's not quite it. Sorry, I got 1 or 2.
Oh.
Just tiny little things. I took some screenshots. Where are they? Screenshots. Blah 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 blah. When you talk with the proprietor of the Al Bed place, he's like, "Hello, du Sadwi," and Goku's like, "What does that mean?" And he goes, "It means nice to meet you." And Goku goes, "Well, helly do sad we to you too," and it spells it out in the
phonetics or whatever
subtitles as "helly do sad we."
Also, that's really Tom Kenny doing his voice.
Oh, dope!
Yeah.
Oh,
that's 2 voices he's done in this game.
Yeah,
Tom Kenny is great. Also, yeah, I like that character's voice a lot.
Quentin Flynn has done 2 or 3 voices already as well.
He's very like, I'm a forerunner. Let's see. Why did I take a screenshot of this? I have no idea. There's this guy looking at some books in a bookshelf, and I just thought about the part in The Great Gatsby where that guy's looking.
God damn it!
Because I'm me.
Which reminds me, not just canceled, like real hard this week. Like, he's already canceled because he was a misogynist, but he basically went on a gigantic anti-trans tirade on Twitter.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, Great. I saw that you were sharing that, but I didn't actually look at why. Cool.
Yeah.
Glad to hear.
Yeah.
And also, he thinks that Great Gatsby is a boring book.
Yeah, that's
which
what
makes
it
sense
reminded
because
me.
he's an engineer and is a stupid dipshit.
Yeah.
So he doesn't understand human feelings.
Yeah. But
obviously. Or art. Anyway, yeah, that's it for me.
But yeah.
Cool. So I'm going to talk real quick about when we're going to stop next week.
Yeah.
So, like I said, a little bit of a beefy week. Not too much, though. A lot of good shit's going to happen. I was trying to find a good place to stop, and it was like,
Jesus
here's
Christ.
okay, but how? I'm so sorry. I can't fucking do anything.
Yeah.
Anyway, it's like, but what should I do? Like, how can I explain how to stop at this point? So I went a little farther, and I realized, all of a sudden, you're in a desert.
All right.
So just safe.
Okay.
All of a sudden, you are in the desert. You weren't in the desert before, but then you are. And there's a safe point right there.
Kind of like this week, where there's an open grassland with no mountainous region around you whatsoever, and you turn left, and then you're in a canyon. Because that's how this game works.
Well,
everything's connected, but nothing is connected.
In this case, it actually is a little different. It actually is like you got transported halfway across the world.
Oh, okay.
But yeah. As soon as you all of a sudden are in a desert, safe.
All right. We're going to stop when we reach the desert.
Yep.
So, yeah, that'll do it for the week. This was a short week, but we had a lot of tangents, so it's about a normal length episode all told. But if you liked what you heard, you can chat with us at our Twitter at RPG Book Club, on our email address at rpgbookclub@gmail.com. We still have yet to get an email. So if you're a Notch diehard and you want to tell us off, please email us, and you can get firsties. Just somebody email us. The only thing I get is Twitter
hate mail, love mail. We don't care.
Yeah, the only thing I get is Libsyn saying my credit card bounced and Twitter saying, "Hey, you have unread notifications." So anybody else, you can just hit us up. But or if you are a nice person, you can hit us up on our Discord, which has a link in the description. And
only nice people in the Discord.
I can ban you from the Discord. I can't ban you from sending me an email. There's a plus. But
so that's the way to do it.
If you'd like to help us pay for things and vote in the best of the rest poll, which again is right now is between Dragon Quest V and Magic Knight Rayearth, you can do so on our Patreon at patreon.com/RPG Book Club. And when you do that, you also get access to our new video series, the JRPG Canon, which the intro video is now available for non-patrons to watch. So you can check that out on YouTube, see if it's something you care about. I was planning on getting the Dragon Quest one up before the end of March, and I haven't recorded anything for it. So we'll see how that goes. But second episode should be up shortly. But for RPG Book Club, I have been Sam Allman.
I've been Elias, Sailor Eli Warren.
And I'm Maddie, currently getting mad at Notch. Actually, I'm not mad. Who even cares anymore?
Right.
Whatever.
I already knew he was a piece of shit, so.
But, yeah. Toodaloo, guys.
Anyway, bye. Love you.
Bye, folks.